him back to the race. There is once again dominating the situation, number 15, Chris Hodgetts. Probably knows this circuit better than anybody else, and Ian Flux now up into second place. Wayne behind him, then John Kent, then Cole, and McRae fighting his way back up, and what a fight he's got on his hands. Graham Nash is sorted out on the inside. No, he isn't. Nash there, although he went wide, held on to the place. You can see him just dabbing the brakes there, a little uncertain, and McRae knows this, so he's giving him a wide berth. Waiting for the opportunity, perhaps, to let him make another mistake, go wide somewhere else, and then nip through. Evenly matched for power, these engines producing all the power in the world. Dry sump, of course, and going around the outside now. Holford's corner. Didn't make it that time. He's right close with him, now has a good look at the inside, and he's through. Puts his hand up to signify to the driver behind that he's happy with that one. And here's the next little group. Ian Flux in second place. In third place, 26, is Simon Wayne. In fourth place is 27. That's John Kent. We're looking at John Kent now in the Lister Jaguar colours, as Jimmy McRae still storming through the field. And the real excitement in this race is watching McRae's progress. He's now about to attack number 9, Chris Mares. Mares is not going to give him quite such an easy run. In front of Mares, that looks to me like Martin Krass. And then I think it's Dave Loudon. Mares goes off. Mares goes off into the barrier. Chris Mares goes off into the barrier, and that is upper place as far as McRae's concerned. Lost a bit of ground there to the battle that's going on ahead of him. Loudon and Krass, the dueling duo. Well, there are 5 there, Jimmy. Sort them out. He has. And Krass goes through on the inside, and Dave Loudon wouldn't like that. Loudon, who's coming back at him and tucked up on his tail there. McRae looks for a way between the two of them. There's not room for that. But Loudon is sorted out, and now Krass is the subject of the pressure of the flying Jimmy McRae. This really is the Flying Scholar at his best. Superb car control. Coming up, dealing with Martin Krass. Krass not giving way there, keeps himself on line. Down a gear again. Hard braking here. And Krass there, you can see, struggling to get some grip at the front end. Came in a bit quick, braked a bit late. This time it has a go. The tail tries to break away, but here's McRae looking at Krass and right behind Dave Loudon, and here's the aftermath of that battle that we saw earlier on when number 9 went off, Chris Mares, and that's now being removed. So in that particular part of the circuit there'll be no overtaking, which could in fact cause a few problems for Jimmy McRae. McRae comes up, Krass on the outside. McRae should have it. No, he hasn't. So there are the yellows, so that's where they're going to have to slow. You can just see the tip of Mares' car there. Yellow flag, they go past the engine, it's been craned out of the way, and by the time they come back, that track will be clear. But will Jimmy McRae be in front of Martin Krass is the question. A very good drive by Krass in his second season in the TVRs, came to it as a complete novice. Motor racing was always something the ex-BBC commentator wanted to do, and now he has. And also he's lost a place as well. But for Jimmy McRae, that is no shame. So McRae up another place. In trouble there, number 5, Bob Sands. He's not been playing on the beach, he's found something much harder to play with. And there are 3 more boys there who want to do something else other than build a castle. Ian Mitchell, one of them. McAlpine, the second car, and that's Wheeler. So all 4 close together, and Sands still holding them off. Mitchell having a good look. Decides that discretion is the better part of valour. And Sands there, who's got it taped up already, must have had 2 excursions, I'd think, to cause that much damage. But he's holding them off. Blue flag there to warn him that he's being closely followed, but not being waved. They're letting the drivers find their own way by. But Sands very determinedly staying in front, and Mitchell's not quite sure what to do. Certainly Peter Wheeler was. He's come up and got past McAlpine. And now through goes Mitchell. So Mitchell upper place, Wheeler with the tail hanging out a little bit there. Now it's his turn, and McAlpine watching to see how it's going to be done. Into the quick, and oh dear, that's Sands again. Sands lost it again. A brake grab there. I would not blame the driver for that one. A brake grab, it turned very, very sharply right. He's out of the race. Nobody hit him, so here's Mitchell all on his own. The other two impeded a little bit by that. Mitchell on the ragged limit there. Let's see that again. You'll see that Sands puts the brakes on. And the moment he puts the brakes on, it turns sharp right. There we go. Straight into the barrier. Well, the new nose was required before. He'll require a bit more than that now. One man who requires nothing is Chris Hodgetts, getting on with the job, out front, very much in charge. And he's built up quite a substantial lead now from Ian Flux in second place. There's Fluxy, his first drive, and one which he can justifiably be proud of. Yellow flag, waving marshals, Sands' car craned out of the way. Through go the first two, and you can see the water's coming out of the front of the radiator there, and gives you a good idea of what the frame's like underneath. Here's Steve Cole, however, with clouds of steam, clouds of smoke, and that would seem to be that. Whoops, that's Ian Mitchell. Ian Mitchell has a huge accident. Ian Mitchell has an accident all by himself. I didn't see there was any good reason for that. It was on the straight. You can see the black lines going down there. Mitchell perfectly okay. The car buried firmly in the barrier. He gives it a jolly good kick, and that is, I think, about the third, fourth, might be even the fifth accident that he's had this year. It just hasn't gone right for Ian Mitchell wherever he's gone. So Mitchell's damaged car, there's oil all over the road. I think that explains the story. The engine, I would suggest, blew. It locked up, or did it? Either way, whatever it was, I believe that was a mechanical problem. So Mitchell out of the race, still very much in charge. You saw him glance at his mirror there. Is the flying number 15, Chris Hodgetts, who's got it all in the bag now. He's able to drive at the pace of the opposition. You can see the concentration there. Chris teaches driving for Jim Russell at Donington during the week, race driving, and knows his way around Birmingham probably as well, if not better than anyone. Behind, this is a fine battle. Here is McRae. Here is McRae threatening John Kent. And Kent is the man now who is having pressure, and you can see how McRae is closing that gap all the way into, all the way out of the corner. Has a good look, comes into the right-hander, closes it a bit more, close to the barrier one way, close on the other way, and short of get out and throw his helmet at him. There's no way by at the moment on the straight because they're absolutely nose and tail. But he's drafting him down the straight there. He'll try and pull out into the braking area. Nobody wants to know about that. John Kent's quite determined that he wants that line and gets it. So John Kent, a little bit the slower of the two, gets the tail out, and that could be it. That could be the mistake. No, Kent gets it back again. Kent made a slight error there. McRae tried to take advantage but couldn't quite do it. Simon Wayne up ahead of them. He's the next man up, and obviously I think neither of them are going to catch him, particularly while they're so busy with each other. And the closing stages of this race and the drive back into contention by Jimmy McRae has been one of the major features, plus the incidents. We're coming up to where Ian Mitchell had his accident any minute now, and I think that car's still to be moved. You can see the black lines. Yes, Mitchell's car still buried in the barrier. So here comes Jimmy McRae looking at the inside. No, it wasn't to be. Has another good look, gets it sideways, feeds the power on. And McRae really giving it all he's got, but he can't quite get alongside to grab the line here as they come into Honda. But there's nothing much he can do. Pulls out as they come to the line. And is just behind John Kent. So Chris Hodgetts wins. Unfortunately, Ian Flux disqualified for doing a practice start. He'd never started one of these cars before, did a practice start, and, well, there you have it. There are the rest of the results. Playing to the crowd. Oh, dear! That was unfortunate. We've seen the leader, the winner, number 15, Chris Hodgetts, clout the barrier very hard there. Now, Chris will undoubtedly have an explanation for that, but isn't a very happy man. But no explanation here required. Hodgetts now 97 points, well in the lead in the championship. You can see the rest of the points in this exciting TVR Tuscan Challenge, round 9 here at Birmingham. The final round of the TVR Tuscan Challenge at Oulton Park, sponsored by Land Rover. The championship may be in the hands of Chris Hodgetts, but John Kent and Steve Cole have yet to decide who finishes second.
John's been going well this year, and so have I, and it's been, when we've had reliability and we haven't had accidents, we've had good races, so let's hope that we can have a good clean race this time and no mechanical problems, and we should have a good scrap. But there's 2 points between us. I've effectively got to finish 2 cars ahead of John to secure second place in the championship. First place, of course, is gone already. Chris Hodgetts is a worthy winner of that. But if I can put 2 cars between me and John Kent, then I can get second place.
Well, that's Steve Cole's philosophy, but what does John Kent think will happen?
A few races ago, we got a few more points in hand, and all the time I guess I dreaded that it had come down to the last race and then straight fight between me and Steve.
12 points at stake for a win. 2 points between them, so it really is anybody's battle to be won. Hodgetts secure, Mary's really out of contention, but Simon Wayne's close enough to him to make a difference there. The surprise in practice has been the performance of Richard Cabot. It's not been a particularly lucky season for him, but when he's on form and the car's going well, he's right up with the boys, and that's where it counts. Steve Cole, determined to prove his point, is the other occupant of the front row, moustache bristling at the prospect. For Chris Hodgetts, it's not a question of winning the championship. He's done that. It's a question of winning the race. His pride's at stake. He'd love to finish first. Chris takes this very seriously. So does Chris Maris. We've already said his position in the championship could change here, and he's made a good time in practice. Colin Blower's well up. John Kent carries the onboard camera. There are 2 minutes to go. Let's look at the practice times. Richard Cabot then with a 1:41.48, just about a tenth of a second ahead of Cole. Hodgetts a little bit off the pace there. Colin Blower a little bit further back, but still in the top 6. They're all very close. It has the makings of a tremendous final round. On go the red lights, and look out for a bit of creeping there. There is a little bit going on the back of the grid, but they're away. A nice clean start, and Cabot does not make the best start, there's no doubt about that. Here's John Kent, Cabot on the inside, Cole on the outside, Cole trying to go round the outside, and staying there, and he's made it. So Steve Cole, as they come down towards the Cascades, through past there goes Colin Blower. Blower really on the pace now, up to 3rd place, and Ken squeezed back to 4th. So he really has got to go for it. Steve Cole went, with Cabot right on his tail, and Chris Hodgetts is not hanging about either. Hodgetts coming up. Hodgetts has made a place there. And this has the makings of a tremendous battle. 400 brake horsepower. The Rover-based engine, with of course a lot of modification, providing tremendous power, tremendous torque, and these cars very spectacular, quite difficult to drive, a real men's car. If you like a latter-day AC Cobra, and I think they'll be just as much a classic. That's Hodgetts looking for the inside there as they dive down through Knickerbrook. A place that can catch you out if you're not very careful at all. 51, Jeff Kennedy. Not as we've seen Dave Loudon drive that car from time to time. And here we are back on board, coming through Druids. And there's the top 4. Hodgetts making his effort, trying to sneak his way up now into 2nd place, but finds he's not quite close enough to do it. 5th place man has got it all to do. Past the pits for the first time. Colin Blower in 2nd place. Here comes the charge from Hodgetts. Locking up a brake there was number 4, Cabot, but Cabot holds on to his place. Down now through the Cascades once more, and the lead has extended just a little bit. It's enough to cause a bit of a problem, because out front there, right at the moment, Steve Cole can pick his lines. Hodgetts determined to try and get up to 2nd here. Looks at the inside, but he's still not close enough to do it. Comes out, feeds the power on. And I would guess that he's going to try and close up and have a go coming down towards Knickerbrook. That's the favourite place if you're brave enough. You can see over the curve there at Paulston's. Still going hard, still trying very hard indeed to close the gap, the camera car, but it isn't really happening for him at the moment. He's got to just hope that something happens up front that helps him. Looked like a little bit of steam coming out of Richard Cabon's car there. Cabon holding on in there. Kent trying to close the gap. Still Hodgetts trying to get through into second place. He hasn't made it yet. Out of Druids there, the tail end sliding away. This is Lodge Corner. A good look at Lodge. There's the leader, and here's the battle for second, third, fourth and fifth man. Sitting back, I think, waiting to see what happens there. It's long enough for him not to have to do anything right now. Here is Cabon looking at the outside. Hodgetts dives for the inside. He wasn't quite close enough to get the line coming out of the corner. So he's still in third place. Down the hill once more. Cole must be feeling that this could very well be his race, and Hodgetts has fallen back a little bit. Comes out of the Cascades the faster and closes the gap once again, however, on Blower. Colin Blower has driven TVRs for a long time. He's got a lot of experience, and Blower probably having a better run today than he's had so far this season. Bob Sands going well too there in number 5. But Blower anxious to hold on to his second place. I think he'll take some dislodging. 21 also going well, Martin Krass. Martin Krass made his debut in this championship with a huge accident at Oldham Park almost now 2 years ago, but he's learned a lot since then. Kent having fallen back a little bit, Cabon ahead of him. You can see the battle, and the first 3 have closed up. There is Cabon spinning it. Aim for where he was, you'll miss him. He did. So Cabon then takes himself out of contention. And Blower has a mirror full, a boot full of Chris Hodgetts, who's looking to get alongside as they go past the pits. Has to take the optimum line into Old Hall. And Hodgetts knew that there was very little chance of him doing anything there unless there was a little bit more space than that. And Colin Blower does not give you favours. Why should he? He's in second place. They're all in close touch with each other. Steve Cole's doing the work out front. But he's lost a lot of that advantage that he had. And give or take another lap or so, if they get any closer, he's going to have to drive defensively. Hodgetts trying to go around the outside here. If he comes in tight on the inside, he might make it. But they're so evenly matched, he's alongside. And Hodgetts now could just snatch this, but he's unfortunately in the wrong part of Fulston's at the wrong time. So Hodgetts really having to work for it. Chris Hodgetts, an ex-British saloon car champion, took to TVRs like a duck to water. He'd driven Tubman's cars in the past. Down towards Knickerbrook, he's trying the outside. Now he'll look at the inside as they go up Clay Hill. Gets alongside. This is a manoeuvre only for the very brave. Here is John Kent. He's dropped back a little bit from that battle. You can see just ahead of him those 2 cars going out of sight. They're safely around Druids, and it wasn't able to be apparent there whether or not there was a change. They're into Lodge, but no change. Hodgetts has got his headlights on. I don't think that's going to do anything except drain the battery a bit. Oh, Hodgetts has got a problem. Hodgetts has got a problem. Hodgetts on his way into the pits. That's not going to help Kent any. They were driving together. Their cars are prepared by the same people. And Hodgetts could be counted on perhaps to help a little bit. Kent now has got it all to do. He's in third place and he is a long way behind. Out onto the grass. That's a big lose. 44 in trouble, and there's the barrier once again. And Andrew Purvis has a lot of damage there, and out comes Chris Hodgetts after a very quick stop. Hodgetts there, back, joining in with Richard Cabon, Ian Mitchell, number 11 there. And Hodgetts' entry into and exit from the pits may be the subject of a little polite inquiry. Martin Krass has made a mess of things. That's a pity. He was going well, he was well up. But here's Colin Blower closing the gap now and making life difficult for Steve Cole. Cole will not be too disturbed. Obviously, like anybody else, he'd like to win the race, but this is the man that Cole has to finish ahead of. John Kent with Knickerbrook just has got those cars in sight. And here comes Blower. Blower having a good look as they come into Lodge. Cole doesn't want to know about it. Cole keeps the door shut. There's a puff of smoke there, which could be significant. A nice wide line in by Colin Blower. Here is Kent, behind Kent, and pressuring him quite hard is Chris Marries. And that's one thing that Kent really needs, like a hole in the head. To have to drive defensively when he wants to concentrate on closing the gap. Dab, dab, dab at the throttle. Flick those front wheels for grip. Not too much power. If the tail comes out, you lose time. Colin Blower looking to see whether or not anything can be done about Steve Cole. These two are old protagonists. They battled together for many a race over many a year. And they've got quite an advantage. And here we can see Marries crawling all over the tail of Kent. And that's not going to please John Kent one iota. John Kent is going to find that that's going to make life difficult for him. Here comes the effort. That is quite remarkable. On the inside, he found the power, he found the time, he found the speed. And through goes Colin Blower into the lead. Now, those puffs of smoke that are coming from the second place car, I don't think indicate that it's as healthy as it might be.